After I set down my blue and orange layer, I took a watered down brush, still had a little bit of blue on there and was overlapping it onto my orange. Then I washed off my brush more gradually and faded it down even further using the water to help fade it down. Then I went back over with my orange to brighten it up, to increase the saturation. And then after that, I went in with more of a mixture of blue and purple to fade back down into my orange. Again, I took some water to lift some of that color that was in there to kind of show the different values in the clouds, but then also fading it down into the orange. You can see this process again on the one on the left, where I then fade the blue into the orange by just using water to help lift that color and feather it out. And then I go back over with some purple and then my blue violet mixture just to create some darker values, and again using water to lift some of that color and create different values in my clouds. You'll notice that I'm going over a couple times because I like to layer the colors rather than just putting them all on at once. This kind of creates a nice effect where you can see all different values showing through all the different layers, especially when I do lift up color with just water. You can see some of the colors that I had previously put in the layers underneath. This entire piece was a challenge just because it did take a lot of time and a vast amount of layers, but it was very informative being able to practice my glazing as well as my detail painting. Going on, you can see me doing a time lapse of the detail in her hair. It did take a long time for each layer. I did not record everything just because of the length of time, but you can see it is a lot of layering, waiting for colors to dry, going back in with a very similar value, just some of it lighter, some of it darker, and having it layering over time increases the depth in the hair. After I go in with different values throughout the hair, I actually also go in with a white pastel pen as well as a white gel pen just to kind of push those highlights back up that I did lose. I still need to practice with using the white of the paper for my highlights, but I know that will get better over time and with more practice. When I do add the white towards the edges of the hair, it's just to provide greater contrast on my edges where I had some of the paint kind of bleed together, so I'm able to pop out that contrast even more and make these little wispy areas. After I do apply all my white pastel pen and then also my gel pen, I do go over with a sort of wash over it so it's not as bright, and I still do have those tones that I already have in her hair kind of peek through a little bit more and kind of push it back into space. Overall, I'm really happy with the outcome of this piece. I felt like it really challenged my glazing abilities as well as my detailed oriented nature and just wanting to draw a portraiture. Hope you enjoyed this process as much as I did.